Walking Macau Streets. Dear Lord, show me a sign. Give me a map. Oh yeah.
Okay, we got a Macau one for us, and for you, for us, because for me too, because I love filming Macau and I love sharing Macau with you as well. And this one has a very, very, very Portuguese element to it because the street is called Saudade. I'm going to put the definition of Saudade behind me so you can see. And basically, Saudade is this very intense longing. It's kind of this memory. It's like you long and you miss, and it's like reminiscing of, you know, beautiful memories and just kind of this it's like this, and it's very, very powerful Portuguese word, and Portuguese always say there's no translation of the word, just that intense longing and missing of, and sometimes it's something that you haven't even been to, and sometimes it's of the past. And so what I think is really beautiful about this particular street name is that this starts out at the ocean. So imagine the Portuguese, they'd come into the ocean, and I got some scenes of the ocean right here. And then what they're doing is you know, coming to a new land, and they're kind of exploring. And then what's interesting about this particular street is that it comes up to Camões Garden, Camões Park. And Camões is the most famous poet in Portugal, and it's rumored that he was here in Macau in 15, right at the very, very beginning, before Macau was even Portuguese really, but when the Portuguese first came there. So he was said to have written part of his famous work in Macau, so the rumor goes, but it's pretty sure that he was here as well. Anyways, nonetheless, that's what makes this so beautiful, the Saudade Street, because it's connected with the ocean and the movement of Portuguese and the movement into the Camões, which is kind of the, Camões represents a big part of the Portuguese experience for, you know, 450 years. Anyways, I know what you really want to do is see Saudade Street. Now you have all the imagery in your mind. You know what this must mean to Portuguese. And also, by the way, there's a Chinese translation, which I'm not sure what it is. I didn't translate that one yet. But it'd be interesting to know if the Chinese is similar. So if you do speak Chinese, maybe tell me what the Chinese meaning is of the street. That would be extremely interesting, because I'm going to probably film that street again in the future at some point, and I would like to know that as well. Okay, Saudade Street, Macau. Let's go see it. Okay, this is kind of a special name street called Travessa de Saudade. Saudade is like this intense longing for, it's a Portuguese word for like missing something. And what I find so interesting about this is this Saudade goes up to Camões Park, which is one of the first establishments in Macau with the Portuguese. And it starts out by this ocean right over here. So we have all these ships. So this is called the Inner Harbor, and all these ships are in this area, of course. And so the Portuguese would have came in on some of these. Actually, I got more to say about that, but we're gonna go up the Saudade Street, and what we're gonna do in this particular one is we're gonna go straight into Patane, up towards Camões Park. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so we're gonna go up Saudade. And before we even go up, we're gonna show this one. This is where all the ships come in, but these don't have any, they can't bring any passengers in. They're just bringing in cargo and stuff like that. And this particular street right here, it's called Avenida de Dimitra Sinati, which is the engineer that created this extra land. Let's see if I can go across here real quick. So we're going to be going down that street. That's our target street. But this street that we're on right now, this is on reclaimed land, and that's named after the Italian architect who designed this back in the 1800s. So he would have designed this street, and they would have reclaimed the land from the ocean. And it might have been closer to one of the first reclamation programs in Macau, probably. So what we're gonna do next is going to go straight up this way, and we're on the Saudade Street. We show you that as well, the sign. So this is a major street that's also been reclaimed by the ocean as well. But yeah, really beautiful area. And I think this particular street is just kind of go up there. So that's our target street, Travessa de Saudade. I'll explain that more in a minute. We got our sunset going down over there. You can see the ships in the harbor a little bit. So yeah, pretty cool. And then, so this street is a north-south street, and we're going to keep going up this way, which is Travessa del Saudade. And Saudade just means like this intense longing. So when the Portuguese first came, they could have came anywhere over that whole area for the waterfront. And then up here is Camões Park. So they had the famous poet who, my understanding anyways of Camões is that Camões came back before Macau was actually Portuguese. Which means that he didn't write too much about it, but he was basically here. This is a little patio. These little patios are everywhere in Macau. These patios are just these little neighborhood streets. Quite beautiful. But yeah, so Camões has a park named after him. And he would have been here, I guess it was about 550 years, almost 600 years ago, 1500s. 450 years ago, sorry. And legend has it that he wrote his famous poetry, some of it anyways, in Camões Park, straight ahead. So he's very highly connected to Macau, which is what makes it so interesting because, you know, this particular lane is called Saudade Lane. And so, got these little carapinha, these little alleys everywhere. So it makes it kind of interesting because, so there's our street name right there. Travessa de Saudade, Saudade Lane. Just kind of capture some of these little alleys. So there's all these little alleys in this area of Patane, because Patane used to be a small little village, and then it became part of Macau itself. So originally it was like a little Chinese village outside of the Portuguese area of Macau, and the park named after Camões is right over there. And now we're kind of in this little Patane area. Saudade. And here, because it used to be its own little village, it still has these little feelings of these lanes and this small village of what it used to be once a long time ago. So that is Saudade, and then it comes up against Palmeira Street. And Palmeira Street, I think, used to be along the ocean a long time ago. So this is Palmeira, Rua de Palmeira. That's Saudade. So what's so kind of romantic about this particular street is that it has a romantic name, and it leads from the ocean up to Camões Park, which is where the famous poet wrote his poetry, and still there today, the poetry and some of his bust and his writing is memorialized up there in Camões Park. Okay, so on that note, we're gonna end it. There's actually nice little rooftops everywhere as well. So let's just go back, and then we're just gonna catch a view of the ocean, and then I'm going to in this particular video, but it is really photogenic. Travessa de Saudade. Carapinha. I looked up Carapinha before, and I made a video of it, and it had a really interesting translation. Maybe write it down below, because I won't remember right now. But the ocean is right up that way. And then a little Baco. It's so photogenic. And there's the ocean up there. So okay, Rua de Saudade. Longing for, it's kind of like longing for something that you missing intensely. And we're gonna end our video. And we're gonna end our video here. So for our Saudade Street, which is one video that I filmed, I'm gonna put this also on the end of the other one, which was the Jade Pirate one. This is where the inner harbor used to come in, where the ships came in from the inner harbor. That right there is in the James Bond movie, that ship right there, this little one right there. It's a floating casino that was in James Bond, and now it's just kind of idly here. There's a replica in another part. But nonetheless, so both videos, the Jade Pirate and the Saudade, which I both put up, have this reference to the ocean, and there's the ocean right there for our ending note of this video, of these two videos. So anyways, hope you like that one. Another slice in Macau.